This is Distant Replay.
Well, in this mini-sode of the Distant Replay podcast, we are talking about the Dr. Pepper Tuition Challenge. Why? Well, how about the Chess Pass? We're going to talk about how it kind of started, the debate on whether or not the Chess Pass should be allowed in the competition, this halftime competition, and just the novelty of how this thing's evolved over the last decade plus. I'm Ben George. He's Mike Noto. You can find us online, distantreplaypodcast.com, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And Mike, doing some research on this, I think when this actually kind of turned, and they've been doing the tuition challenge since I think 2008. What I found, I don't know if you found differently, but it seemed like 2010 was the first year where we had somebody think outside the box.
Yeah, look, hey, there's a lot of money at stake here, right? We're talking over $100,000. So it was only going to be a matter of time before someone decided to flip the script, and Nikki Boone was that person.
She was. It happened during the SEC championship game, which was awesome. And you go back and watch. It was funny because you had Gary and Vern on the call, right? Classic CBS SEC broadcast, and they're actually calling this thing like it's like an actual in-game experience.
Yeah, that was cool that they stayed on to like call this and really like took pride in doing it and like didn't look at it as like a joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
That it was actually a cool aspect of it.
I remember when this first happened, and the debate like just exploded immediately. Like, should this be allowed? Should a chess pass in this basically a football passing competition, right? When you're trying to throw a football into a Dr. Pepper Coke can opening in the front. If you've never seen this thing, they do it now for every conference in the conference championship half times. But at the time, it was never thought about, should we do this chess pass? And as soon as it happened, the debate just became a huge topic of conversation.
Not only did the debate start right away, but this is something you remember. I mean, if you're familiar with this Dr. Pepper, halftime tuition challenge, you remember this moment. And our reaction watching it was the same as Matt Fairfield, Nikki Boone's opponent's reaction in the moment. If you notice the look he gave her after like the first or second throw, like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, what is
like,
this
you
allowed?
can't throw a chess pass. Even his reaction in the moment what like mirrored what people were, people who were watching it live.
Right. It was crazy too. And it never happened before. And as soon as that happened though, it changed the game. I mean, the Dr. Pepper tuition challenge was flipped on its head. And from that point forward, I mean, everybody did it. Even like the people that were most athletic, like if you were probably a high school quarterback, that didn't make it in college, but you're probably starting on the flag football field, in the rec leagues, whatever college you play for, you were probably still better off doing the chess pass because it was just a quicker delivery.
Yeah, look, if you're stupid not to do it this way if you're trying to win. And like we mentioned, you're not going to get cute. You're going to go with this because it works, and it was a brilliant strategy because there's a lot of money on the line. So you're going to go with what works. And at this point, I don't know why you wouldn't do it this way. And Ben, what I found interesting researching this is, do you remember Ray Edwards? He was a defensive lineman for the Vikings.
No, I do not.
All right, so Ray Edwards is a defensive lineman, good defensive lineman for the Vikings. Nikki Boone was a hostess at a restaurant in Minneapolis and must have mentioned to Ray Edwards that she was going to be in this contest. And he actually gave her the idea to go with the chess passes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and when she was practicing with her friend, like later on in the week, she was doing it regularly, throwing it regularly, and she kept on hitting a rut where she couldn't get more than like 5 or 7 balls, to go into the opening. And thinking she'd need more to sort of win, her friend was like, hey, just try it the way, that Ray Edwards told you and see if it works. Well, she did it, and she got 10 out of 10. And that's when the light bulb went off, and she decided to do it during the contest.
Interesting. Very good stuff on that research, Mike. Well done. Well, it's been over the past essentially decade, it's been pretty much all chess passes. Last year, though, there actually was an overhand thrower who won. And, I think the internet kind of celebrated that because her name was Destiny Alford at the Pac-12 championship game. She actually won that way. And it's like, okay, you actually outdueled the chess pass person. Yeah, I can respect the hustle if you do that the right way.
Yeah, now the script has completely flipped, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The person who throws it the right way is considered like the OG, and like, man, look at this old school person throwing a football the way you should, and like all the football guys on Twitter appreciate it.
If you had the opportunity to take part in the Dr. Pepper Tuition Challenge, which way are you doing it?
Chest pass, no question. I'm trying to win the money. I don't care. I don't care about how I look.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care about how I look. So
there's nothing.
I'm going to get the same $100,000 whether I throw it overhand or whether I throw a chest pass. So
there is nothing worse though than when you try to go the chest pass route and you look bad doing it. You're taking the shortcut and you're still not able to perform with the shortcut. That's a bad look. Now I'm not saying just necessarily lose. But I'm saying like you can't complete anything. You're not scoring any points, and you kind of look awkward doing it. That's a bad look. I can respect you a lot more if you go overhand and fail than if you go chest pass and fail.
Oh, let's put it this way. This chest pass is a lot like the underhand foul shot. If you're going to do it and look this ridiculous, you better be good at it.
I think if I had the opportunity, I'd probably do like maybe a hybrid, kind of like a quick sidearm, like just a quick fire, right? One-handed fire. But the key is no matter what you got to do, you got to go quick. And I think a lot of these people, when they do it, they're very methodical with the process. And I know you want to make each one count, but I feel like if I get off 20 versus your 15, I've got a pretty good chance to win.
You want more possessions. You're like
absolutely.
Yeah, you're like you're the Mike D'Antoni of the Dr. Pepper Tuition Challenge.
Go fast.
Hey, Ben, let me ask you something. Your boy Matt Fairfield, who was the opponent of Nicky Boone here in this challenge, what do you think the aftermath was like for him? When he's hanging around with his buddies, how do you think that went?
I can't imagine it would have gone very well. Now, if you lose now to a girl, right, in the chest pass, it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. But I think that at that time, yeah, I think he probably caught a lot of grief. Probably did not live that one down, and honestly, thought, man, I wish I would have done that.
And you know what made it worse is not that he lost to a girl, is that he was rattled. Dude,
yeah.
The kid was rattled. He looked over to her and was like, what is she doing? She completely got in his head. He was my man Matt was rattled out there. You could tell. But you know what's cool about this competition, Ben, is how genuine the reaction is when people win.
Right.
Like you could just tell, like for her, like this was going to change. She even mentioned it. Like winning this money is going to change her life. And that's always really, really cool to see when you see, people from everyday life sort of get this opportunity, capitalize on it, and then really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think so. And Fairfield actually did end up getting a little bit of money, Mike. He got $20,000, $23,000 in scholarship money to attend the University of Alabama. So he actually did stay in the SEC, attend college, and got a chance to meet New Orleans Saints star running back Deuce McAllister and shoot a commercial with him a little bit later on. So it wasn't all bad.
Deuce McAllister.
It wasn't all bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Deuce McAllister, the first good fantasy football team I ever had. I didn't know what I was doing, and I drafted Aaron Brooks and Deuce McAllister at the 1 year where they had a good year. I don't know if you remember that. And I had a great team. So I will always Deuce McAllister will always have a spot near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, I actually found that in the Oldham Era, which is the I guess the online newspaper for Oldham County, Kentucky, where Fairfield went to high school. So there you go, Mike. We're digging deep into the annals of the internet to dig up this Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. It's always fun to watch. Love the conference championship weekend, and this was just a game changer when it happened. And it's something we still look at halftime. We watch to see what's going to happen with these two competitors. Will they go overhand or chest pass? And it's always great to see somebody take an old school approach to it and win that way. So a lot of fun. The Dr. Pepper Tuition Challenge. If you have any thoughts on it, send it to us on Twitter, Instagram, and find us on distantreplaypodcast.com and YouTube as well. That'll do it for this mini-sode of Distant Replay. We'll talk to you soon.